Welcome to episode 32 of Generation Gap Book Reviews. I'm Christy the mom.
And I'm Lena the daughter.
In this episode, we are going to be reviewing The Lost Causes of Bleak Creek by Rhett McLaughlin and Link Neal. And they are otherwise known as Rhett and Link.
Or Good
and
Mythical
for their
Morning.
YouTube channel.
Good Mythical Morning.
So Lena.
Hi.
I'm going to actually say this first because I came across
That's
it before
fine.
you. When this book was new, or even just coming out in 2019, my son, who at that time would have been 17,
Yep.
was a fan of Rhett and Link, and he, I'm sure, heard about this from them talking about it on their show or on their YouTube channel or whatever, and he seemed to think that it's something I might like. And at the time, I was just starting to get back into reading. So I decided to read it, and he did as well. I don't know that he ever finished it because he's just never really been much of a reader, but I read it at his prompting, basically.
Did you read it? I didn't know that.
And then, so at the time that this came out, you would have only been 9.
Yeah,
That's not that young. Young for this book, but not that young.
Yeah.
But then, how did you hear about this book? Because it
Um,
wasn't just that it was on my shelf and you saw it or anything
no,
like that.
it was. Well, when I was
Because you were also a
9,
fan of Rhett and Link.
I would watch Good Mythical Morning like a lot, especially the Will It Blank. I loved that stuff. It was hilarious, and I remember you would be like, "Ew, that's gross."
Because they were always trying to make food out of non-food stuff.
Yeah, that's true. And or really bad combinations.
Or really bad combinations.
But I love that stuff. So I think it was during that time when it was being published or going to be published, I heard about it. And I was like, I kind of want to read that, but I wasn't allowed to read it when I was 9 years old. And then I kind of forgot about it, and then Mom bought it somehow, and
Well, you give them money and they let you buy and they let you take things home.
yeah, it's true. And then I got into reading, and then we were looking at books that I could put on my TBR. I remember when I started getting into reading. So it was on my TBR for a while before I read it.
And then you read it.
And then I read it.
No way, you read it? I didn't know you read it.
Okay, shut up. I mean, kindly.
Do you see how that's not that funny of a joke though?
I know.
I've been editing these. Trust me, I know. You keep making those jokes.
I know.
Okay, so Lena, do you want to tell us what this book is about?
We can do it together because I don't remember it that much.
You just read it
No, I
recently.
don't remember what the good synopsis.
No, that's fine because I literally just finished this like 2 days ago.
Yeah. So there's these two people. 14-year-olds. I'm pretty sure they're 14.
I don't remember. They're just about to go into high school. They're in the summer
So they're
before high school.
14.
So
Yeah.
it could be 14.
I think they were 14. Rex and Leif. And so they're friends, and they've been friends for, I don't know.
Ever.
Ever.
Pretty much ever.
That's all you need to know. And then
For the whole synopsis, that's it.
there's they have another friend in their trio whose name is Alicia. Oh, Alicia. Man, I'm great with names. There's some strange things happening in the town. That was my best one yet.
Oh man. So
I don't know what else to say.
you can tell us the characters, and then I gotta do the plot, huh?
There's there's a home. No. Prison.
They live in a small town in North Carolina, and this is set in the 90s.
Yes, 90s.
And
900s.
there's this school for troubled kids in their town.
Yeah, and
it kind of has become this boogeyman
shrine.
thing, or at least
Oh, sure.
put the fear of God in the kids. If the kids start to act up a little, the parents will tell them, well, we're going to send you to the Whitewood School.
Yeah.
And it's just this thing hanging over all the kids in town, basically as a don't act up or you're going to get sent to the school.
Yep.
Well, through a series of unfortunate events. You finished my sentence. How did you know? Alicia ends up being sent to the school, which makes Rex and Leif very unhappy for various reasons.
Our friend has been sent to the school.
And that sets them off on kind of an unusual and unexpected adventure as they find out that everything is not what it seems. So, Lena?
Yes.
What did you enjoy about this book?
The 90s are very interesting.
The 90s are interesting.
Anyway.
You know, I lived in the 90s, right?
Yeah, that was 50 years ago, right? Oh no, I'm gonna get slapped, aren't I?
What a
Anyways,
cliche.
anywho's
What a
it?
cliche.
Oh, what a
Pretending like you
cliche.
think I'm 50 years old,
Oh, what? I didn't. I mean, you almost are, but you know. Yeah.
but I was born
So,
before the
I'm gonna
90s,
change this
which would
subject.
make me 60.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I was just joking.
So what about the 90s did you find interesting from this book?
It's so much different. Like, the way that things were, it was so much different than how it is now. Like, because, like, technology. I always hear those people saying, back in my day, we didn't have computers and
Cell
phones
phones.
and cell
They had
phones.
phones, just not cell
That's
phones.
what I meant.
Well, you said phones.
They're basically the same thing now.
You can still have landlines.
It's less common probably
Oh
anymore.
yeah, it's a lot less common, but I'm just saying they still exist.
Anywho's it. But I also I was around the same time we were watching Stranger Things for the first time. Well, I was watching Stranger Things for the first time. And so I felt like I was kind of in the same atmosphere while I was like watching Stranger Things and then like also reading this book at the same time. But even though they're like a
Yeah,
decade apart, but it's
Nin-
still the same
the
kind of.
80s and the 90s have different vibes, but
Mhm.
they still have technologically compared to now
Mhm.
very very very
Yeah.
similar. Yeah. So I get that. I totally get that.
So that was fun. And then the mystery was very interesting. I was like, I honestly have no idea where this is going. So like during that, I was just like, nope, can't tell what's going on right now.
The mystery involved in Alicia being sent to this school
Mhm.
and what's really going on in the school,
Yes.
which the synopsis I feel was really lacking in mystery,
Yeah.
but that's
There's a
okay.
mystery.
There's a mystery.
Yeah. So yeah, plot. Very quite not what I was expecting. I went into this book since it'd been on my TBR for so long. I went into this book not knowing anything about what it was about. I just knew there was a Bleak Creek, right? And there was a lost cause. There's lost causes
Right.
of the Bleak Creek.
Bleak Creek's the name of the town.
Yeah, I
There's a
know.
creek that is named Bleak Creek in the town, but it's also the
Yeah,
name of the town.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew that. And Rhett and Link and just like you were saying, Rex and Leaf. Nope, Rex and Leif. They're so similar to Rhett and Link, and I grew up with Rhett and Link a
Yeah.
lot in
Well,
my
especially
life.
since until there's the mention of that his name was that Leif's name was meant to be pronounced like Leif, but it's spelled Leif, and everybody in the town just calls him Leaf.
Yeah.
Until he says that, which isn't until a little ways into the book, I was reading it as Rex and Leaf.
Mhm.
Rex and Leaf, which is closer to Rhett and Link.
Yeah.
Then when you say Rex and Leif, it's a little further
Yeah.
removed, but just a little bit. I think one of the things that I think really made this book very real is that they clearly drew on their own friendship. They're
Yeah.
so close. They were so close as friends. The boys in this book, the teenagers in this book,
Mhm.
that they were almost like brothers, and they
Mhm.
had what you could see as a sibling rivalry.
Yeah.
And they had their third friend in their friend group, but because she got sent to the school fairly early in the book, you
Yeah.
don't actually see a lot of them as a trio.
Yeah.
We're just and I don't mean this as a bad thing because I know the whole show don't tell thing is something you hear everywhere. We're told that they've been best friends for a long time, and
Yeah.
they think fondly on each other. And while she's in the school, she's thinking fondly about them and wishing
Mhm.
missing them. But most of what we see in the book is Rex and Leif,
Yeah.
not Rex, Leif, and Alicia.
Yeah.
And so yeah, they're very close, and it just feels natural in a lot of
Mhm.
ways. I liked the 90s references. Fortunately,
You
so I've
grew up
read
in the
books.
90s.
Yeah, well, yes, exactly. I grew up in the 90s, and I've read books that have intentionally have a lot of pop culture references from 80s or 90s that are just thrown in your face so much that it's like the whole point of this book was really just because the author wanted to relive that time period or
Mhm.
show what they know about that time period or whatever, or they're just really counting on your nostalgia to help to make it so that you're more likely to enjoy the book.
Mhm. Yeah.
There's one book in particular that was like that I was just like, but it was more 80s, and I really don't. I was very very young in the 80s. I was never really into the culture in general all that much because my family was very sheltered.
Mhm.
So the 80s is a bit more lost on me. So reading that book and having so much of the 80s references being really, I think, what the author relied on for people to enjoy the book, strip all that away, and the rest of it was not that great. Well, this book isn't like that.
Mhm.
I think that the 90s references are natural
Yeah.
for the most part, and I just they just go right along with the story.
Yeah.
And yeah, the mystery was really good. I didn't remember that much. So I've read it twice now.
Yeah.
I read it way back in 2019, and then because there was no way I was going to remember it well enough, and I knew I mean I didn't remember it well enough, which is actually what I was about to say, for us to review it. So when you read it recently, I read it again, even
Mhm.
more recently,
Yeah.
and I could remember a few details about how that, like about the climax or about how what the mystery was about,
Mhm.
and that's it. So
Yeah.
it was almost because it's been well 6 years, so it was almost like
Whew.
in a lot of ways it was like reading it again for the first time, and I was really caught up in it. I mean, it was atmospheric and kind of creepy, and I think it's billed as horror in some places, and I don't know if
Yeah.
I'd call it horror,
I don't know.
but it's definitely a bit dark and creepy, and
It was so much fun.
it was. And I think that it was very inventive
Mhm.
what was going on here. It's not exactly a spoiler to say that this book has some fantastical elements.
Mhm.
I think that everything that went into what was really going on here
Mhm.
just was really imaginative.
I agree.
And overall I was caught up in it. I was really caught up.
Mhm. Me too.
And for books that are billed as thrillers, unfortunately I hate to say it, but that actually doesn't end up being the case very often for me.
Yeah.
I feel like it should be, and then I just don't really get caught up in it. But I think, but I was. Okay, so what did you not like about it?
The whole stereotypical Christian thing in it. It was really stupid. It was like small town church kind of thing, and then it's like
Southern Baptist
they're all,
stereotype.
yeah, all the outside of church, they're all gossips and loudmouths and like awful people. Really. So I was just like, I just liked that part. I was just like, that's not how. Okay, whatever.
And it seems pretty clear that Rhett Link grew up in that kind of
Yeah.
in the kind of place where going to church was just expected, but it didn't really mean anything to a lot of the
Yeah.
people that went,
Yeah.
including them. I'm sure I get the impression from this, and I didn't follow their channel or anything,
Mm.
but I get the feeling that they pretty much disdain Christianity, which happens a lot with people
Yeah.
who are just forced to go to church, but their parents don't. It doesn't mean much to their parents. It's more social
Yeah.
gathering than it is actually a faith and a
Yeah.
lifestyle. Okay, so like the previous podcast episode, I've read this since I read this book twice. I actually have slightly differing views on it. I mean, not much different, but there was one main detraction I mentioned the first time I read it
Mhm.
that I didn't really feel bothered me as much the second time, and it was basically that their Rex and Leif, their close friendship that gave them something like sibling rivalry between them,
Mhm.
caused them to have arguments a lot. Arguments that I totally get because I grew up with three sisters and we did
Yeah.
not. We argued over petty things all the time.
Yeah.
But I was annoyed about sometimes they would argue in just stupid situations. Like bad things are happening and they're pettily is that even
It could be.
why are we coining another word
We're
here?
gonna make
They're
another word.
pettily arguing
Mhm.
over something like how to eat trail mix. But I don't I have read books where the characters usually it involves romance and the characters are in like a life and death situation or climax of the book or whatever, and they're
Mhm.
arguing over something stupid right in the middle of a
Oh.
chase or something. This isn't. It wasn't actually like that. They were that particular scene, in fact, with the trail mix. They were about to do something, but they were actually kind of in a quiet moment before it happened. And some of the stuff they argued about was stupid and petty, but overall,
Yeah.
I get it. Again, as
I
somebody who grew up with
understand it.
sisters, I get it.
Yeah.
So but this
I,
time, what I noticed that kind of bothered me, and it's addressed in the book, but it still really bothered me that Rex is so domineering over Leif.
yeah.
It's always his way, and Leif, he lets himself be pushed around to a degree, but Rex is not a very good. It seems like he's not a very good friend because he's always like, "This is what we're doing. This is what we're doing. This is what we're doing. Go. You need to do this. You need to do this." Even if Leif doesn't necessarily have a reason to push back or argue or whatever, it doesn't mean that Rex should be just pushing himself. It's making himself the authority of in everything. But even that, I can't really complain that much about because it kind of gets resolved in the end, in a way. It's
Yeah.
addressed. Look, I'll say that. In the end, it is kind of addressed.
Yeah.
So
It's
still kind of a minor thing.
with knowing some about their personality in real life, I can honestly see that. That was probably how it was actually.
Oh, I'm not
Because
surprised.
they were
Rhett's
and
name
then
is
now they're
first.
so
Rhett and Link.
Yeah.
So yeah, in the end, I guess we didn't have a whole lot that we didn't like about it.
Yeah.
So Lena, what do you rate this book?
4.
Wow,
Yeah, 4.
really?
That is
Wow. See,
actually kind of surprising.
that is surprising considering how little you could say that you didn't like about it.
There was probably something else while I was reading it, maybe. I don't know. Maybe it did kind of. Maybe it was one of the things is that they kind of started slow for me because I really didn't know what was going to happen, and I was just like, there's not much getting into this right now.
Well, I gave it a 4.5 the first time I read it.
Mhm.
When I finished it just recently, I decided I'm gonna up it to a 5 because
You liked it so much more than me.
I
Wow.
know, I know. I said I was caught up in it. It was fun. It was exciting in the when you get it close to the climax and afterward and stuff. It
Mhm.
was inventive. I just really liked it.
Yeah.
Most likely I'll read it again someday. Maybe you won't. I don't know why you would. Okay. Who do you recommend it to?
13 and up, probably. That's a probably good age. Maybe 14 and up. Maybe 13 and up. Depends.
I would think 14 or 15, and I also would think that you'd want to make sure that it's a kind of a kid that can handle some creepy
Yeah.
elements because like I said it's not
Disturbing.
necessarily horror,
Yeah.
but it can be a bit disturbing
Yeah.
and there are definitely some things to it that I think could freak out some kids in
Yeah.
a way you wouldn't want them to be freaked out. I would say you don't have to know anything about Rhett and Link going into this
No, we
because I
don't.
really don't.
If you like pop culture from the 90s too, that's a good thing.
Yeah, that
Or
helps.
if you,
If you
yeah.
are a fan of Rhett and Link and you're looking for humor, I'm not saying there's not some humor in this, but it's not exactly laugh out loud funny.
Yeah.
No, it's not. I don't think it's meant to be a
It's
humor.
just like some comedic stuff.
And yeah, overall, I would say yeah, if you're into maybe some dark, creepy,
Creepy.
thriller
Mhm.
kind of books, this would be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Agreed.
that's it.
Join us next time when we will be reviewing a bunch of sequels from Michael Vey, Book Scavenger, and the Inheritance Games.
We'll be reviewing the second book in the Michael Bay series, the third book in the Book Scavenger series,
Mhm.
and
And
both the
then,
second and the third books in the Inheritance Game
yep,
series. Not necessarily in all of that order. I mean, I don't know what order we're going to end up doing
we're
them
gonna
in,
do it
but
in whatever order
those are
we
the
want to do
four
it.
books we're going to review next time, and there will be spoilers for previous books in those series.
This is
Series.
Mhm.
Until next time, I'm Christy,
And I'm Lena.
and this is Generation
Generation
Gap
Gap
Book
Book
Reviews.
Reviews.